Hi, I'm Neal Shusterman, and we're going to be talking today about writing and books and all of that fun stuff. My first published novel was The Shadow Club, but actually it wasn't my first novel. I had written 2 novels before The Shadow Club that were never published. Now there's a good reason for that. They weren't good enough to be published. But you know, with everything you write, you get a little bit better. And it took me 3 novels until I was a strong enough writer to be able to get published. Shadow Club is about a bunch of kids who are second best at what they do. The second best runner, the second most popular, the second smartest in school, and all of them form a secret club to get back at the kids that are the best. But in the course of that, they sort of release this spirit of resentment and revenge in their school that sort of takes them down a dark path. And it's really a cautionary tale. There are 2 Shadow Club books, The Shadow Club and The Shadow Club Rising, which I actually wrote 14 years later. I had never intended to write a sequel to The Shadow Club, but I was moved by a lot of the things that were happening in school, such as the shootings at Columbine High, to really do a story that really dealt with the issue of resentment gone out of control. Everlost is a story about kids who are caught in between life and death. They had a car accident, and in that flash of exploding metal and glass, they found themselves going down that tunnel that they say that you go down when you die towards the light. But they bump into each other, knock each other out of the tunnel, and find themselves in a world halfway between life and death. And they have to find the courage to complete their journey. When I was watching TV, and it was a show about people who had near-death experiences, and I had gotten the idea of, well, what happens if you just don't make it to the light? Where do you end up? And just that whole idea of a world between life and death really caught my imagination. What particularly made me want to write it was when I realized what would be in this world. All of the places that no longer exist but yet hold such a place in our hearts and our memories will still be there. And I realized that the World Trade Center would be in Everlost, and there those towers will stand forever and nothing will ever tear them down. Unwind is a science fiction story about a future, not a technological future, not a future with flying cars and things like that. It's really a sociological future, a future in which abortion is illegal, but parents can terminate their kids between the ages of 13 and 18. I couldn't write that story, though, because I couldn't believe it. What got me interested in writing the story was when I had seen an article on transplant technology and how it's getting better. One scientist said that within our lifetimes, they will be able to transplant 100% of a donor body. That got me thinking, if 100% of you is alive, are you alive or are you not? Antsy Does Time is a kind of sort of sequel to my novel The Schwa Was Here, which is about a kid who is functionally invisible. He's unnoticeable. The story, however, is told by a kid who is anything but unnoticeable. A kid by the name of Anthony Bonanno. Antsy is his nickname. And he is such a fun storyteller. I decided that I wanted Antsy to tell another story about another kid. So it's not really a sequel because the character of the unnoticeable, invisible kid, the Schwa, isn't in it. Instead, there's another kid by the name of Gunnar Umlaut. I went from Schwa to Umlaut. Gunnar tells everybody that he's dying of this dread disease and he has 6 months left to live. And Antsy, feeling bad for him, decides to befriend him and spend some time with him. Gunnar is so obsessed with his own death. This starts to frustrate Antsy. And so Antsy says, okay, Gunnar, you know what? Here, I, Anthony Bonanno, do hereby give Gunnar Umlaut 1 month of my life. And he gives it to him and he says, there, now you have 7 months instead of 6. You really are living on borrowed time. Now shut up about it. And somebody sees Antsy do this and says, wait a second, can I give a month of my life to Gunnar too? And before long, everybody in school is starting to donate time to Gunnar. So that's what time is in Antsy Does Time, because Antsy is the master of time. He's writing up all of these time contracts. And then people start realizing, hey, I can use this like money. My next book that I have coming out is Everwild, which is the second book in the Everlost trilogy. The third book is going to be Everfound, which I haven't started writing yet, but I'm going to start writing very soon. But before Everfound comes out, I have a book called Bruiser, which I'm in the middle of working on right now, and that one is about a kid who has this ability to take away people's pain, to the point that they don't even feel that they had pain. They don't even know that they were in pain. He takes their pain away from them. However, that is very difficult for him to do, and as he starts to care about more people, his pain keeps growing. I would say experience this thing we call life. Enjoy it to the best of your ability, and learn everything, learn as many things as you can, because life is all about learning and growing and being the best person that you can be.